We're bound to miss somebody, but they've established a great tradition. Waterloo have a great tradition out in the Ontario West. There's a shot off and a rebound taken by Boyce. Important. Speed pass ahead to Van Drunen, going to the basket, rejected by Scruff. Rebound by Norris, won't go. And it's Victoria's ball. Norris pleading for a penalty, and they may have a legitimate reason.
Well, it gets upsetting when you're inside and you have the basketball in great position and it either gets knocked away or if contact occurred, you get hit and there's no call. But Norris has a tendency to try to plead with the referees. I don't know if it helps him out or not, but sometimes he'll state his case.
Did you ever plead with the referees, Brian? Did you ever plead?
It
never helped you to plead.
That's right. It never helped.
But I guess it certainly lets everybody know you're in the game. Number 42, Jamie Newman. To Scrubb, his long shot. Jumper from 25 feet is in. Savage has been their big man in this game. I say big man on the scoreboard. On good shot by Van Drunen. One of the role players. They use him in spot situations. He had a great spot earlier in the season, I think, with the last second winning basket, did he not?
Yeah, he did. He's a real good shooter, and he's made a real valuable contribution to this program this year. He's been tough on defenses because you don't expect him to shoot the ball so well, but he's had a fine shooting season.
That was Phil O going to the basket. 6'7", fifth-year student of the final college game. Savage bounce past the Freeze, underneath to Norris, and knocked the ball right away from Norris, almost took an arm with him.
Okay, now you're going to see the ball go inside. Nice pass right inside to Norris, and Ole came underneath and racked him right on the forearm. So Norris not in the bonus. Waterloo's simply going to get a chance to inbound the basketball here.
Third foul against Phil Ole. Robbie Freeze. Norris back to Savage. And Drunen, the Boyce looking. Freeze trying to come in the back door, couldn't. It was shut off by Newman. Now to Norris. He goes to the basket and is fouled. Sheehan, I believe, is the man that they called the foul on. He also hurt his elbow as he fell on the court.
No, you're going to see Sheehan come over and establish position here, number 22, and they called a charging foul on Randy Norris. So the basketball is going to come back the other way.
Randy got the foul.
To Victoria. Sheehan had his feet planted, and he held position. Norris made a strong move to the basket. Referee's judgment call.
68-53, 9:52 left in the game. Victoria out in front and looking for their national championship, number 6 in a row. That's in keeping with great pro teams like the Edmonton Eskimos and the Montreal Canadiens, the Yankees, and others. For Clemens, however they called, steps against Vic, and it's Waterloo's ball. They need that kind of turnover.
They do. They haven't generated a lot of turnovers in this ball game against Victoria.
That was off. Following through was number 33, Paul Boyce with the dunk. 68-55. Vic lead by 13. 9:20 left in the game. Taylor. Back out to Lloyd Scrubb, number 11.
One of the things now that's happening is Waterloo's collapsing inside on Clemens and creating some real easy shots on the perimeter for Vic's guards.
Savage over Newman, in and out. Norris rebound, a great play by Randy Norris.
Really stuck with that rebound. He had to reach back. It didn't come his way. He had to go get it, established his balance, and came back and made a good power move.
The thing is that Victoria do not seem to be slowing down any. They're playing so consistently, aren't they?
They're playing consistently with great rhythm. Waterloo has extended the pressure defense, but hasn't really generated any turnovers because of it.
Rebound, a great play by Boyce. Freeze is called on the motion call. Too bad. Again, they had a chance to turn it over.
Timeout, CTV.
1985 CIAU Basketball Washington Capitals in what should be a great game. You can join Dan Kelly and Dan Matheson for all the excitement of NHL hockey on CTV next Friday. see the scoreboard. And they have 8:19 left on the clock. Waterloo. Right now, in a minute, I'd suggest desperate straits, Brian. They've got to toughen up the defense. At the same time, they've got to go after points.
Well, a faster tempo game favors Waterloo at this stage.
Got a break there. Freeze was checked. Boyce following through. And the foul is against Victoria.
Okay, now this is to Waterloo's advantage. Get the ball in the open court, run the transition game, and if you get fouled, that's even better because you get a chance to score some points with no time lapsing off the clock. With 8 minutes left, the clock now is a factor in the game.
Freeze on the line.
You know, it's been interesting. Waterloo came out in the second half, and they extended full court pressure. They really didn't generate any turnovers against Vic, and the press may have been counterproductive because they've been battling the clock most of the second half, and it simply slowed Vic down, let them spend more time with the basketball rather than speed them up. Sometimes you have to watch that when you're using pressure defense. It doesn't always get what you're after.
We notice that Clemens has 26 points for Victoria. Savage has 22. And Norris 16 for Waterloo. So the big guys have done their thing. Sheehan shot in and out. Cord Clemens going after it. The rebound. Taken by Boyce. Number 33 came up with a big one there.
Now, after the last timeout, Victoria changed their defense. They came out of their zone, went back man-to-man.
I would also like to mention we are playing this game in Halifax. A steal by Taylor. And a great rejection by Boyce, but they called him on goaltending.
It was. Good steal by Taylor. He had great anticipation. He takes the ball up on the glass, not over the rim. Boyce leaves. Good hustle. He has great springs, and he gets the basketball while it's up on the backboard. Definitely goaltending.
So Vic capitalized on the turnover, now lead by 13. I started to say we have Waterloo playing Victoria in Halifax. The noise, the generation of excitement that only happen in this city. What a great basketball town. What a fine shot by Randy Norris. They now have cut the lead to 11 points.
Okay, let's watch it here. We're going to see the contact. Again, Norris right on the spot, inside, got his hands on the basketball, went up strong. He's going to have an opportunity for a three-point play. That's what Waterloo needs right now. Some three-point plays, some transition baskets.
18 points for Randy Norris. Stands 7 foot, comes from Sarnia. Shot it off.
Sometimes that happens. He's not a terrible foul shooter. He's a pretty fair foul shooter. But sometimes in key games, you lose your legs. You're working hard during the whole game, and that'll happen to you on the foul line.
7 minutes to play. Victoria leads 72-61. Last year, they defeated Brandon in the national final. This year, Victoria had to win a regional to get here. Shot from Graham Taylor. 74-61 Vic. Graham Taylor is playing himself an outstanding game. That's his 6th point, but he made a big steal earlier, and has just been so consistent.
Played very well the other night in the second half against Manitoba and was responsible in large measure for Victoria winning that game.
Great shot by Savage, who now has 24 points. Clemens and Savage, leading point getters on the floor. Again, Taylor, number 12, trying to go to the basket. Passes back to Ole. His jump shot. He canned it. That's his 10th point. There's Savage. Boy. As a lot of pushing and shoving. There's Norris, and he made the shot. 76-65, 11 points. And 5:50 left to play. 20 points for Randy Norris. .26 for Cord Clemens. Grubb and Taylor trying to set up that offense. Ole comes back. The shot is off. The rebound taken by Freeze. He can cut the lead to under 10. Big play here for Waterloo. Savage is going to the basket. And it's Victoria's ball.
That was a tough possession right there because psychologically they would have cut it down to single digits. And Waterloo really hasn't been in single digits the whole game. If they'd have been able to cut it down, maybe a timeout, maybe come back with some pressure defense, get it down to the 5-point range for the last few minutes.
It's unusual to see Peter Savage lose his poise, but I thought he may have there.
Well, I don't know if he's losing his poise, but he's aware of the time factor in the game, and perhaps he rushed a little bit.
Taylor. Full scrub. 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Big Newman. They call him the Rack. I'll tell you why later. Cord Clemens. He did it. Right over Norris.
You know what
That's
impressed
28 points, Brian.
What's impressed me about Clemens is his footwork. I saw Cord play a couple of years ago, and he's a much improved basketball player today.
The Victoria bench has been standing for the last 5 minutes. They realize they're toying with history here. A shot by Savage. And the foul.
Now watch here. Freeze hits Savage, takes it right into the basket. It's fouled on the way up.
Savage has 26 points. Can cut the Victoria lead to 10. And he's an excellent foul shooter. 78-68, 4:33 left. Victoria out in front. Taylor. Blocked by Moser is out on the floor now. Number 34, another role player. Dave Moser will graduate this year, 4-year player. Shot by Cord Clemens. His 30th point of the game.
Unbelievable. Now he's got the sky hook, or his version of it in the ballgame. He's shot.
They're watching the great one. Back out to Freeze. He's a little shorter than Jabbar, but not here. There's Norris. He goes to the basket right over top of Cord Clemens. 3:52, 80-70. Vic lead Waterloo. Now they've got that modified press. Savage tried to steal. Couldn't do it as Scrub. Very consistently brings that ball up court. I don't think he's mishandled the ball all day. Bounce pass to Cord Clemens. The foul is called on Randy Norris.
Well, I'll tell you, the Norris-Clemens matchup that everybody was talking about.
The 1985 CIAU Basketball Championship. Live coverage of the CIAU Hockey Championship from Toronto. Ron Roosh and Brian Smith will be on hand at University of Toronto's Varsity Arena to bring it all to you. That's tomorrow as CTV's CIAU Championship weekend continues. 10-point lead, 80-70, Victoria in front of Waterloo, Brian, and we've got 3:32 left.
And this is the man that's led them, Cord Clemens. Gets the ball inside. See Norris reach right over, grab his arm. Definitely a foul.
Randy Norris, I think, has shown a lot of cool up there today. He apparently gets very emotional at times during the game, but today has certainly just been battling. Realize, of course, this is the final game of the year. Scrub to Clemens. The shot is off the rim. Clemens the rebound, and Clemens is fouled by Savage, and he doesn't like the call. Clemens has 30 points. Savage has 27.
Peter Savage with the foul, his third. Cord Clemens.
I'll tell you, Cord Clemens has been outstanding today, and Randy Norris has played a fine basketball game as well on the other end of the court. Both players have risen to the occasion. It was a head-to-head battle. Supporting casts figured into the outcome. Victoria has played almost flawless as a team in the second half of this basketball game.
Cord is now 10 for 10 from the line. And that's his 32nd point of the game. Boy, has he played himself a basketball game. 3 minutes, 5 seconds left. Vic lead by 12. Rob Freeze. To Don Moser. To Savage. Savage looks for help. Freeze. Norris off the side. The rebound is taken by Savage again. He's all over the place. Bounce pass. Goes up over top of 7-foot Cord Clemens. And it's now a 10-point game with 2